hello there. Thank you so much for still staying with us here on the AM Show. Thanks to Mapito Sibidi for bringing us the AM News. It's myself and Joseph Akable in studio. We will run you through what's in the headlines this morning. Joseph Opoku Gakpo is also joining us via Zoom. So, can we say good morning to you, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, if you can hear me? Let's see your face, your handsome face.
Good morning. Hope you're doing good.
Oh, there you are. Why are we wearing the same thing? Why are we wearing the same thing here? Oh, are you frozen?
I thought you were coming with a maths and science quiz question, so I got frozen along the line.
I have a question actually. I just didn't think you'll be up for it. Should we do it? Joe, you're a bit slow. Should I wake you up?
Oh, I'm fine.
Should we do it?
I'm always up for any...
Should we do it?
No, I'm answering a question. I mean, you should give me the latitude to answer.
Don't give me a courtroom response.
I'm always ready for any contest that involves Joseph Opoku Gakpo.
Okay. Guys, are you ready?
Go, shoot, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Listen, I have to bring in the board, okay? So, Opoku Gakpo, I'll give you maybe like a second to grab a notepad and a pen because you have to write things out. I don't want you to make excuses.
Let me do that.
So do that.
Let me do that. 30 seconds.
In here, I'm going to get a board and a marker so that you do yours because you tell me, give me paper or something. All right. So whilst we get that ready, Joseph Opoku Gakpo will be taking us through the final newspaper in the Ghanaian Times. I've got the Daily Graphic and the Finder. So I'll just start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Here's what's on the front page of the paper. NPP, NDC agree on seating in parliaments. Remain faithful, united, President Akufo-Addo urges party loyalists. But the banner headline on election petition, Supreme Court allows to correct error. And that's the biggest news from yesterday's court hearing. Can we say day one? Because we actually saw them and the panel being composed to sit on the case. Joseph Akable was in court. He'll give us all the backstory. But in the center spread, price of eggs go up following rising cost of feed. Contractors appeal to government to settle debts. UDS constitutes COVID-19 response committee. That's a very important one. It says the University for Development Studies, Tamale, has constituted a COVID-19 response committee to ensure the safety of students and staff of the university as it prepares to commence academic activities. And the price of eggs in the Bono region, considered to be one of the hubs for the production of the commodity, has risen by about 50% within the last 2 months, causing concerns among poultry industry players. The price of a crate of egg, which was between 13 Ghana cedis and 18 in November last year, depending on the size of the eggs, is now between 20 Ghana cedis and 25 Ghana cedis. You know what that means. For those of us in Accra who were buying it for 25 Ghana cedis, we are now buying it for about 30, sometimes 32 Ghana cedis. Wholesalers in the region have expressed concern about the situation, especially the decision by customers in Accra and Tamale not to allow them to deliver their weekly consignment due to the high price of the product, which includes transportation, handling, and other associated costs. I have to ask you this question, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, because of your specialty in this agric sector. What's up with the eggs? What's their situation?
It's a bigger problem with maize to feed the chicken, or for that matter, the hen or the poultry that ends up producing the egg. Following the shortage of maize across the country, leading to a situation where we are being forced to import a lot of it, it's been more expensive managing poultry because maize remains their main source of food. And that's also leading to a hike in the prices of maize, the prices of egg to a certain extent. I bought 2 eggs yesterday from a regular customer where I used to buy it for 1 cedi, and I bought each for 1 cedi 50 pesos. I was surprised, and I asked her, and she said it's difficult to come by egg these days.
True, I got the same feedback. from Auntie Susie just down here. She wanted to tell me that price now cost before I place the order. And then just at the traffic lights, there's a woman that sells eggs. That's where I get my eggs.
A couple of days ago, I saw on social media people were complaining about the price of Kosiani Meko. You know Kosiani Meko, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think they're selling it for 1 cedi 50 pesos now.
Oh,
Right.
1 cedi, because it used to be 1 cedi, selling for 1 cedi 50 pesos. Okay, guys, I want to tell you my question, so you think about it. Okay? Are you ready, Opoku Gakpo?
Always ready.
Don't tell me the internet is not stable.
That's my pen.
Okay. So Mr. Kumsin is Ato's father. Mr. Kumsin is 35 years old. 3 years ago, Mr. Kumsin was 4 times as old as his son was then. How old is Ato now? Question again. And this is to all of you also watching the show. You might want to try this Friday trivial question and then let me know. Okay, so here's a question. Mr. Kumsing is Ato's father. Oh, you're starting. Mr. Kumsing is Ato's father. Mr. Kumsing is 35 years old. 3 years ago, Mr. Kumsing was 4 times as old as his son was then. Question, how old is Ato now? If you think you can solve this problem, let me know. Joseph Opoku Gakpo, you're on Zoom. Did you get my question?
Things froze along the line. But I'll do a playback and try to get the answer before I can finish.
But you're solving. Are you solving it?
I'm on it, so don't worry.
Okay. So I'll give you maybe like a minute. Oh.
I've not worked it yet.
Okay. All right. So let me do the final. Should we do the papers and then
Yes,
we'll come back
go
to
with
it?
the papers.
Okay. Let me okay.
No, I've not worked it yet. This is a summary of the question.
Okay, let me do the back page of the Ghanaian, the Daily Graphic. I think I skipped it. So the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Rainstorm renders over 100 people homeless at Seikwa. Residents of Seikwa in the Tyne districts of the Bono region had a nightmarish experience in the early hours of last Tuesday when a rainstorm hit the area and rendered more than 100 residents homeless. Properties worth thousands of Ghana cedis, which were destroyed in the rainstorm, included houses, worship centers, and school buildings. Residents say the rainstorm, which started last Monday evening and continued into the early hours of Tuesday, ripped off the roofs of many buildings, including the Roman Catholic Basic School. And that's coming at a time when children are preparing to go back to school. Definitely not good. NADMO Director General visit fire scenes in Kumasi is also another story on the back page of the Daily Graphic. So guys, are you ready, or you're just thinking about the question I asked? Are you putting it on Google?
No, I'm not putting it on Google,
Okay.
Let's do the front page of the Daily Guide now. It has this question says, Mahama granted amendment request, and NPP maintains majority, NDC sits on minority side. And Chief Justice probes Muntaka bribery allegation, also on the front page. And stop blame game, Nana tells NPP. And Kabi shot dead is also another story on the front page of the Daily Guide. The back page says, Partey's ex-coach released after attempted kidnap. Has a photograph of Isaac Kojo Ibrahim. It's a story that has to do with some money that we are told came down. You know, when the players are signed for the big clubs, sometimes it includes development fees. So it is paid to the teams that groom the player in his very early stages. So we are told that the founder of this particular team had died, and so the money was paid to the coach, and the family, they were trying to get the money from the coach. And the story that the Daily Guide brought us 2 days ago was that the coach was missing. And so we are told that he's been found after an attempted kidnapping. It doesn't talk about the money though, what has happened to the money. It's 750,000 euros. Okay.
You know when they say money is evil, eh?
Yeah, the root of all evil. Bechem United trainer is NASCO coach of the month. It's also on the back page of the Daily Guide. The center spread, Bulldog granted 70,000 CD bail. And 2021 Black Star International Film Festival kicks off. And Afrobeats gem Lami drops I. Yeah, okay. Registrar General's Department moves to curb extortion also on the center spread, in the center spread. And the final one in the center spread, government still agree. And there's this other story about the FDA cracking down on unregistered imports. And so those are the main stories for the Daily Guide.
Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, is it true that there's been a determination in terms of the majority-minority in parliaments?
I can't confirm that. What I know for certain is that the NPP side will, this morning, when the House resumes sitting, officially ask Speaker Alban Bagbin to pronounce on them being the majority. As in, they will argue their case, and we expect the NDC side to argue otherwise for the Speaker to eventually pronounce on that. What I recall hearing Haruna Idrisu, the leader of the NDC side, say yesterday at the media briefing was that when it comes to who should sit on which side of the Speaker, they, the NDC, would not mind sitting on the left-hand side of the Speaker, because for them it doesn't matter. The standing order doesn't even stipulate that. It's just become a convention over the years. So they will not mind taking the left-hand side, but the NDC is insisting that there is no absolute majority, although the NPP is claiming that NPP plus formula gives them 138, which is majority, and that the Speaker will be asked to rule on that later today. I don't know that, I can't confirm that they've already agreed on that.
Okay. Was that the only thing the meeting was supposed to address yesterday? So
the meeting over the last 2 days, that's actually the very fundamental point as to which side will constitute majority, which side will constitute minority. But there's been other demands from the NDC side as well, that once you have a situation where it's 137, 137, when it comes to the chairmanship of the various committees, for example, there are 16 select committees apart from the standing committees, which have already a definition of who should chair the standing committees. For example, the appointment committee is supposed to be chaired by the first deputy speaker. The business committee is supposed to be chaired by the leader on the majority side. But when it comes to the chairperson of the committee, the 16 select committees like Committee on Health, Committee on Education, and all the rest, it's not determined. So the NDC wants to have 8 of the chairmanship of those. The NPP is insisting that we hold the majority, we should rather chair those. So that's the other outstanding thing. And the other bit was the bit about who sits on which side of the speaker. Those were the 3 main outstanding things.
Okay.
But once it gets determined who constitutes majority, virtually everything else falls in place.
Okay. Because those positions of chairpersons have not been on the table where there is a clear majority in Parliament in terms of the numerical strength in the past.
So what we've seen over the years is that any party that has the clear majority chairs all the committees except Public Accounts Committee and Subsidiary Legislation Committee. The NPP wants to stick to that situation as has unfolded over the years, and then the NPP wants to stick to that. The NDC wants a change. In fact, the standing orders, the new standing orders, makes a recommendation on changes that would have given whoever the opposition party is, public accounts, government assurances, subsidiary legislation, and then give government side 5 other committees, and then it says the rest of them, a decision should be taken based on the numerical strengths.
Okay.
So the new standing orders would have allowed for that, but those new standing orders were never approved in the last parliament. And now we gather that a new committee has been set up to look at it and recommend its possible approval, which will then allow for the splitting as is being demanded by the NDC.
Okay, but Joseph, how about this current, this standing orders, what Parliament operates with now? Is it clear?
It says the committee should be constituted based on the different shades of opinions as exist in Parliament. That's the only explanation it gives for how those committees should be constituted. Except that by convention, then, the committees get set up based on the recommendations of a special committee of Parliament chaired by the Speaker of Parliament himself at the beginning of every session of Parliament. So over the years, the recommendation has been that the majority chairs, whoever has the absolute majority chairs, and the minority then holds the ranking position on the various committees. But
okay.
now there is a suggestion for a change, which has still not been agreed on.
Okay, so we'll see how that plays out when the speaker speaks today, because Parliament sits today, 15th of January. All right, so Joseph, Akable has started off answering the question, but you go through with the papers that you have, and then I'll give you a bit of time to solve your problem question, okay?
I have the answer already. If you needed it now, I've given you. But once you want me to go through the papers, let me just go ahead.
Please, let's do the papers.
Yes, so the Finder newspaper, there's a very bizarre story about the police locking up a Finder reporter for filming an altercation between a policeman and a driver. Very bizarre story. That in the story, then there's a call for investigation into that. The insistence being that this happened in a public space, so anyone could have filmed, and that the police had no business picking up the Finder reporter. It's on the front page as well. Supreme Court grants Mahama leave to correct errors. We've gone through that story already. Ghana Medical Association fears exponential rise in COVID-19 cases. We have the GMA officials at the front page there. And then GBA asked Muntaka to substantiate bribery allegation. That's also on the front page. The GBA issued the statement yesterday making that demand. And then President Akufo-Addo has been speaking. He says, stop the blame game and remain focused. Nanado charges the MPP. Let me move on quickly to the Ghanaian Times newspaper. On the back page of that paper, there's a story about work on the secondary Takoradi modern market progressing. And then there's a story about the 10-man bridge becoming a death trap. And then a very interesting story about Bulldog, that popular entertainment personality, being granted a 70,000 Ghana cedi bail for allegedly threatening the president. And just to read the first paragraph of that story, Lawrence Nanesiama Hansen, known in showbiz circles as Bulldog, has been granted a 70,000 Ghana cedi bail with 3 sureties by an Accra Circuit Court for allegedly threatening President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That's the other story in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Well, the front page of the Ghanaian Times, NDC selection petition, Supreme Court orders live coverage as it grants John Mahama's motion. And then there's the reference to the majority and minority stalemate in Parliament, and the indication that calm, is returning to Parliament as the NDC and NPP caucuses, dialogue today.
It's just a bit about the banner headline on the election petition that's not so clear, because the Supreme Court had said it had taken its own decision to telecast the proceedings live, and so the request was not even allowed to be moved. It's just, I'm not sure SC orders live coverage is what you would use to represent what played out yesterday, even before, some of the issues were, they delved into some of the issues. But
it's even contained in the adjudication manual that there should be a live telecast of whatever proceedings as far as an election petition presidential is concerned. But
ultimately, the Supreme Court determines if they're going to do it, and they had apparently decided that they were going to do it even before that request was moved yesterday.
Joseph, I'm just seeing something on Facebook. Very interesting. Sheila Battles, the MPP MP.
Is it Ablekuma North?
She's just posted on Facebook.
Yes.
She's just posted on Facebook. It's a verified handle with a photograph of herself, and it reads, "It is worth noting that for today's sitting of Parliament, myself and other members of the majority arrived within the presence of Parliament as early as 4 a.m. Looking forward to a fruitful engagement on the business of the day. Good morning and have a great day."
So
this was posted 54 minutes ago, and it has
she's in Parliament already. And Parliament was set at what? 10 a.m.
Everyone wants to sit. It's interesting that they're taking it seriously. The NDC beat them to it on the 9th of 6th January. Looks like they are poised to beat the NDC back to it.
As for 4 a.m., I'm very sure that it's beating the NDC.
Oh my goodness. Okay, the issue with the police locking up the Finder reporter is quite bizarre. I've just been trying to understand the details. The officer whose name was given as Sergeant Solomon Taki had been incensed by the video recording which the reporter Solomon Bogbiji had done of him after he had stopped the trotro the reporter was in. The incident occurred at the Legon bus stop when the officer spotted the driver's mate of the said trotro having his upper body outside of the vehicle, calling for passengers as mates usually do. When he got to the vehicle, which had moved on to the bus stop after the Legon runabout to park, despite directions from the incensed policeman to park immediately, he instructed the driver to get out while instructing the passengers to disembark. This call displeased the passengers who had been wondering what offense the driver, one Rashid, had committed. It was at this point that Sergeant Taki said it was the mates who was the offending party. That's not all. I mean, there's a lot in this story. I'm not sure if we start, we will finish. So we're just going to note the situation down. Let me get you guys to solve your problem question, and then
I'm done with mine. So if he's not done, I can just do it. I mean, he will
explain your explain.
So
your
let's
answer.
find out whether he has an answer first.
Gafo's connection, we lost the connection.
As usual.
I think it's genuine.
I mean,
Okay,
so
don't draw any conclusions.
I can
solve your problem.
Explain. Okay, so the question indicated that Kumsin is 35 years.
Yes, sir.
And it says that 3 years ago, he was 4 times as old as Ato. And they are asking us to find how old Ato is now. And so first, I noted that Kumsin is 35. So 3 years ago, he was 4 times as old as Ato. So it means that when you pick Kumsin's age of 35 and you take out 3, it should be 4 times as old as Ato was. So what 35 minus 30 minus 3, you get 32 is equal to 4x. Then obviously you want to take out the.
So this was the age 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
32.
So you divide by 4. So 4 cancels 4. 4 into 32 gives you 8. So it means that 3 years ago, Ato was 8 years. So how old is Ato now? 8 plus 3 gives you 11. So to show that the answer is correct, you now have to go back to 3 years ago and go to 32. So 3 years ago, Kumsin was 4 times as old as Ato. Ato was 8 then. So 4 by 8 gives you the 32 age. And so Ato now is 11. And this is, I used to teach mathematics.
Oh.
Yeah. I got A1 in elective maths for what it's worth. I need to state that.
Well, no, but this is super impressive. Very impressive.
You just don't trust me.
Oh,
and Opoku Gakpo, for the records, escaped.
No, he has. Let's try again. My producer, my director, is he back? Ayeka. Okay, for your prize, what's your favorite 90s song?
Ooh.
Yep.
California Love is from the 90s, right?
I'm not sure I know that.
A producer should know that. Tupac, I mean, everyone knows California Love. I mean.
Yeah. Is it from the 90s?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is from the 90s. I mean. If you
Echo, talk to me, eh? He has to win something.
Yeah.
And if it means dropping the sound.
Either you give me California Love, anything from Rockstone back in the day. I mean, I like.
Okay, we will give you what we can give you, but you know we can't do such a good job. There's DJ Black, there's Andy Dusty, there's Sammy Forsing. They're going to be rocking everybody from 7 p.m. It's the virtual 90s jam.
Yeah.
So congratulations on getting this right. And yeah, enjoy it, okay?
I know how to party in mathematics.
Well, thanks for staying with us. We've got sports coming up with Gary Al Smith, and then we'll come back and discuss the big issues, particularly the election petition. We've got one of the spokesperson on John Dramani Mahama's side, Dr. Basit Bamba, is joining us for a conversation. And on Nana Kufuado's side, we've got Kujo Ponkroma. That conversation comes up right after sports. So please stay with us.